Have you not seen my turbo burgers?
Hello there, fine people of the internet. Stu here with more bit weird but fair enough, I guess. So glad that you're here with me while I present to you the third season of this show. Today I have for you, as guests, the crew from the Strange Times show. The fine lads on that show, Davian Dent, Sorens and Dom Risk, were polite enough to come and do 2 episodes with me here this season. Check out their show. It is a weekly comedy improv show, and they recently celebrated their 10th birthday. They've been doing this for 10 years. I met Davian and possibly Kat, I can't remember, 10 years ago when they just started this show, and I just started a sketch show called The Angry Chimp Show, no longer available. And then the next show that I did, called What a Pair of Trousers, with Matt and Rich and Ben, who you know from this show. We had a lot of interactions with Strange Times over the years. We were pod friend shows, I guess you would say. What a Pair of Trousers, also no longer available. Bit of a theme going here with the podcast on my side, but Strange Times has stayed strong through this last decade. And so with that, I welcome Davian, Kat and Dom.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm the Strange Times crew. You know, who we got here? Who we got? We got Davian.
Hello. Now I don't. Sorry. You didn't enunciate the V enough, and it sounded like Damien, which fucking gets on my tits. You can't. There you go. Bleep that one out, yeah.
Oh wow! I've made a huge mistake.
Wow. Yeah, you leave Damien alone.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll shut up for at least 30 seconds. All right.
Liar.
Kat Sorens.
Yeah,
hello,
me.
Kat.
And
Dom Risk. Hello, Dom.
Hello.
Now, 2/3 of you are British, aren't you?
Yeah, in a manner of speaking. I mean, we all come from the fucking Horn, but yeah.
And 50% of this is from the colonies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we're all British to some degree. Or is Sorens might be Scandinavian in origin, is it?
Yeah, there's still bits of Scottish in there, and along with the Danish and Italian.
Scotland, that well-known bit of Scandinavia. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said the 2 different things. The English.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
So, well, I thought I might bring you some British stuff this evening, and I'd like to start off with a weird law.
Okay.
Weird law. So, and I don't really need to read it to you because you guys will be well versed on it, I'm sure.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
The Salmon Act of 1986.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Specifically Section 32. So you'll remember that.
Yeah.
And in that section it says, handling salmon in a suspicious circumstance is illegal.
Easy for you to say.
So I might run at that again. Handling salmon in suspicious circumstances is illegal. So I'm straight away I'm looking at you three with a bit of side-eye because it feels to me like, you know, it could be dark, lonely night back in your youth.
Who's not handled a salmon? Who's not had to handle a salmon? I mean, what's suspicious? If you don't buy a dinner, is that suspicious? If you cradle the shaft and leave the balls alone, is that suspicious? I don't know.
Well, Dom, don't take this the wrong way, but I can very easily envisage you in a bit of a bear suit in a river late at night trying to catch fish as they swim upstream.
Yeah, I've been called a bear many a time, yeah.
Yes. He's gained employment as one. Yeah.
They're balls deep in a carp.
This is part of a wider law that bans possessing salmon where it has been taken, killed, or landed illegally, and it also covers more freshwater fish, including trout, eels, smelt, and lamprey. What's a smelt?
What is this suddenly turned into another game show? A smelt? I don't know. I mean,
Anyway,
that's not me typing into the keyboard at all.
Let's assume it's a fish.
Yeah, it's like anchovies and the sardines is the generic name for a lot of little fish altogether, I think, is it not?
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Well, there you go.
I thought it's when you fused two metals together. All right.
In a different context, perhaps, yeah.
Well, maybe that's a suspicious activity if you're trying to melt some fish together.
Yes.
They're making some sort of paste.
Looking for the fingers.
Paste. I don't know. Did you guys have is it Perkins fish paste?
No. I really, really don't like fish. I will go to cotton chips if pushed, as long as there's enough brown sauce. But other than that, you can leave the fish in the fucking water.
You're so fucking English, mate. Fish is awesome. Fish paste. Fish paste, what he's talking about is hanging stuff. No, don't try that. That's just like disgustingness in a jar. But big plate of calamari or lobster or a nice big thick, what's it called, red snapper or something. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
What's that fish it's apparently got an odour so pungent that you can't. I mean, it's considered a delicacy in some backward Scandinavian.
Oh,
not backward Scandinavian. That's very
I know what you're
rude.
talking about. It smells like fish, but it tastes like chicken.
Shut up! No. There's this. I don't know how to pronounce it. Surströmming or something. But I've seen those reaction videos where people pop the lid and it's like block.
Yeah.
Isn't that almost gone off though?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of fermented in it, so I'm actually wanting to gag right now.
Fermented haddock or shark, isn't it, in a tin? You have to open it underwater because it's that bad, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, it's dead and going off. Fucking reeks.
Yeah, it's a fish minging.
I think I told you guys about we used to have activities week in the high school or secondary school if you live in a third world country, and my brother's group was doing rubber rafting, and there'd been a flood, and as he's going down the rubber rafting, there was a cow that had died. It had drowned, and it was stuck on driftwood in the river. So his rubber raft went in the same direction as the cow, and their raft hit the cow. He went forward, his arm hit the cow, went straight to the side of it, into its stomach. He pulled it out, and there's all this yellow stuff all over his arm and maggots. And everyone in the boat is just dry reeking. All this gas came out of the fucking dead cow. So it was a treat.
Why did you not call it rubber dinky? I was saying rubber dinky rabbies, but that would be that. I can only imagine. It's like that scene in is it William Wallace or something? That's a film about the Scottishman in a dress who ends up hiding inside a cattle or sheep or cow or something.
No, that's The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I'm about to say.
I thought this smelled bad on the outside.
God, I can imagine as well. Oh, the river will be just literally taking them towards it, and no matter how much they're paddling, there's nothing to do. It's just collision course.
Yeah. His arm disappeared into it, up to his elbow, and he pulled it out, and it's just covered in stuff and maggots. So that was a delight. So anyone who's
we got to fisting in the end.
Yeah.
I realised it met my mum.
Maybe I've been watching too much of The Last of Us, but
I've not watched any of that yet.
That would be appetizing to some of the folks there, I think.
I've been collecting episodes that I've purchased legally from BitTorrent, I'm going to watch all those.
It's not a spoiler, but I'm struggling to find zombies with mushrooms springing out of their heads intimidating. I don't know if I'm the only one there. We'll just leave that hanging there for people to think about.
Yes, let's.
Vegan zombies.
Anyway, I've got a bit weird I thought I'd look one up.
Please.
Yeah. It's Stu will already know this, I reckon, but Davian and Dom won't. That wombat, do you guys know what a wombat is?
Yeah, he's speaking at the moment, but not me.
That is champagne comedy. Just to get that as a clip. Wombats have square poo.
What?
Their poo is square.
Oh, no. I have heard that. I have genuinely heard that. I forgot that it was wombats, but...
and do you know why?
Square arseholes? Aren't they?
Yeah, because Harry Butler's cock is square.
Dom, I don't know either.
Hang on. Something just brushed the top of my head.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
It is.
Stuart found it funny.
That is a fantastic bit weird to share, because just trying to work out how it happens. They don't have square assholes.
Right.
So how the fuck does it happen?
Well, I told you, Harry Butler screwed all of them, and they've all got square assholes.
Square poo.
For Davian and Dom, used to do nature documentaries for about in the late 70s, early 80s, I suppose.
No, I didn't.
So we go around like, look at this frilled neck lizard, and he'd just be poking at it with a stick. It's like the crocodile hunter before the crocodile hunter with a square cock.
Rest in peace.
There's a rich history of those kind of. We had a lot of those shows in the 70s and 80s. If you ever feel like learning more about the Australian outback, there was the Bush Tucker Man, who was
I remember that.
actually genuinely good. There were the Leyland brothers who
I used to hate that.
Who travelled around and showed you bits of the bush, and they were quite possibly the dullest people ever on Australian television.
Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers.
Yep.
Was it as good as the Flying Doctors?
I think it was.
Was it as good as the Flying Doctors?
Well, the Flying Doctors was a drama program.
Oh, right. Oh, I thought it was a documentary. Joke.
Well, there are actual Flying Doctors, so it's based on real events.
And Flying Nuns.
Yeah, just like the Flying Nun.
Apparently Cocaine Bear is based on true events as well.
Sons and daughters.
Yeah. That's Dom's nickname.
All right. Now, I'm going to move on to another story about a British cultural hero.
Oh, thanks. Oh, you shouldn't have.
Well, actually, he's quite like you, Davian.
What, he's an alcoholic?
Jimmy Savile was born in... No.
Boris Johnson.
No, I thought I'll bring you a few extremely British stories, and you can tell me whether they resonate as indeed very British to you. We'll start off slow. King Henry III had a polar bear in his menagerie, and it went fishing in the River Thames, attracting obviously a gaggle of onlookers. Not being many entertainment options in those days, obviously, but yeah, there you go. If you can picture a little bit of a polar bear faffing about in the Thames looking for fish, back to bears and fish again.
Henry III. So what year would that have been?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're the history man, Dom.
No, but you think of circumnavigating the globe as being like Elizabethan time with Drake and Raleigh and all that. So Henry III must have been years.
It was in the 1200s. But it was gifted by Hakon IV of Norway, so one of those Scandi fellas.
Oh, right. From Scotland.
I suppose one of them can wander up and get it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being like a peasant eating mud and then all of a sudden there's a polar bear there? What a shock to the system. That'd be madness. It'd be like our Davian's grandparents seeing a banana for the first time because he's older than him.
Yeah, it would. It would be very much like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a Tory's wet dream, that. Peasants eating mud. That Mog Rees must masturbate to that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it must have made, all the subjects feel very loved and valued to be eating their mud and seeing the king's bear eating some lovely fish. Here, Dom, this might hurt. King Henry VIII introduced tax on beards in the 16th century. The tax varied depending on the social status of the man sporting the beard.
Really? I can believe that. Do you know everything that you know about Henry VIII in terms of his marriages and his gargantuan cranium and hunting and all the gout and all that happened in the last 20 years of his life and his AIDS?
Yeah, when he was massive.
When he was massive, yeah. But everything that you know about Henry VIII was literally in the last 20 years of his life. And for the first 40, 50 years of it, he's just like a normal bloke. It was bit of a con, but normal bloke, and all of a sudden it's like something happened in his brain. He's like, right, midlife crisis, let's go to town.
Last 20 years,
he's like, fucking hell. No wonder he probably needed to fund his habits one way or the other, and a beer tax, a window tax, I don't know, a grass tax, any sort of tax would have done.
Brass tax.
Yeah, brass tax, yeah.
How about this one for a piece of British thinking on display? During the late 19th century, an attempt to suicide was treated on par with attempted murder and was punishable by hanging.
Wow.
So,
I can relate to that. I mean, yeah, because you might be quite grateful because like maybe if you fucked it up and said, right, we're going to kill you because of that, and you go, oh, nice one, mate, cheers.
What relief.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to do it. I just took 3 aspirin.
That's right, yeah.
And wrote a suicide note.
But what about, let's hope that, you don't accidentally nick yourself shaving and then someone looks at you, hey, he's tried to off himself, get him.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. What's the degree? What's the degree of suicide? It's like, stub my toe. Well, you tried to kill yourself there, mate. Yeah.
Or like going into a pub in Scotland and asking for a shandy.
And only getting a handshake.
Cocktails there, mate. You're being very British centric. I think when it comes down to it, see, I did a little bit of research, and I think you'll find that without Manchester, my fair city, there wouldn't even be in England. Never mind a Great Britain. Never mind a Commonwealth. Never mind all the colonies and your good selves over there.
Well, that means exploring.
You say Great Britain. It's not right.
Yeah, it's not called All Right Britain. It's called Great Britain, my friend. So I did a bit of research. So I have to look at this.
Is this going to be about Oasis?
No, fuck no.
Oh, fucking hope not.
Nah, fuck Oasis. I've seen them, so I saw them at Knebworth, but that was it. No, everything, or not everything. A lot of the things that we count on in life were invented in Manchester, and I dare say they would have been invented elsewhere later on.
I think I had heard that there's some crazy, or not crazy, some high proportion of people, inventors of consequence in Manchester.
Yeah. So I've got a list here. So, I mean, the first canal in the world was the Bridgewater Canal in Manchester, 1761.
All right. That is just a hole that is filled with water, though.
Correct. Yeah. And to be fair, it was built by Irish navigators, or navvies, as they were called. Okay, how about this? Atomic theory, 1803.
Slightly more impressive.
Yeah. Slightly less impressive, vegetarianism.
Hang on.
1809.
How do you invent that, though? Don't you just look at kind of...
Well, let me read. A guy called, ironically, a guy called William Cowherd.
Mr. Beef Burger. Oh, sorry.
Almost. William Cowherd, who was a curator at St. John's off Deansgate, which is the main shopping road in town.
Roads. Oh, very
1709 preached that people should eat no more meat till the world endeth, citing Genesis 9:3 as proof that God wanted man to refrain from eating meat. It catalyzed into a new worldwide movement in abstaining from meat.
Yeah, but
so he just made it fancy and popular.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He was an influencer of his day. He was doing like selfies and little TikTok dances. All right, how about this? The very first passenger railway.
He invented TikTok as well.
He did, yeah. He's Chinese.
In 1809. Oh.
First railway in the world, passenger railway in the world, invented in Manchester. The first submarine, 1878.
Really? 1878?
First, actually, no, competitive football. But a submarine, yeah.
I thought
competitive football for submarines?
No, separate. I've moved on.
Oh.
Submarine was invented by the Reverend George Garrett, who was a Moss Side vicar. So things have changed since then.
Bit tasty.
The
Masada from Israel, though, aren't they? Surely.
Don't call him that.
Yeah, that's racist. Rolls-Royce, obviously. The famous story of Mr. Rolls and Mr. Royce had a meeting in the Midland Hotel in Manchester and decided, let's make a car.
Yeah,
Let's make a car.
and they invented fisting.
And then the other one said, well, what's a fucking car? Well, we've got to fucking invent it, you fucking...
Country roads.
Let's make a very expensive car. How about this then? The first...
That we can sell to paedophile DJs working at the BBC.
Jim will fix it for you. So I'm in Manchester. Davian's in fucking, I don't know, Shropshire. And the other two are in the colonies abroad. And we're speaking over the computer, over the internet. And the internet wasn't invented here because the guy at Apple, Johnny Ives, invented the internet. No. Oh, shit. I forgot his name. But the computer, the first programmable computer was invented in Manchester.
Wasn't that Babbage?
No. Well, that was a programming engine or something.
It was a programmable computer.
It was a counting machine, counting engine
that you could program.
And it's actually there's a woman who did more of it, not Babbage. I can't remember her name, but it's a woman that.
It doesn't matter if it is woman, does it? Sorry, what month is it? Oh, what?
Well, speaking of women,
go on in.
Emmeline Pankhurst, born and bred in Moss Side, and then led this suffragette movement and got women to vote. Some may say that's a bad thing.
Was that the famous horse head butter?
No, that was one of the group. She wasn't one. She's now got a statue in Manchester. I think it might be on St. Peter's Square, and it's just like a woman on a chair, stood on a chair.
Yeah. Cool.
And last one, libraries. The first lending library in the world was in Manchester, 1653.
Amazing, considering that no one in Manchester can read.
I'm glad you threw the word lending in there because I'm pretty sure Alexandria had quite a
popular. Yeah.
In Egypt.
He had a very famous one. Was it 1 million bucks all carried on camel and horseback or something like that? But he was a tight country roads. And he wouldn't lend them to anybody.
Oh, right. No cards.
That's no bloody
good,
is it?
You have to fill out form.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
where are you from? Over there.
Without Manchester, then Davian wouldn't exist. Never mind you two.
It's true enough.
I think that's a very impressive list. You didn't need to fill it out with a couple of ring-ins, though. Like vegetarianism, just look at a cow and do what that does. You said competitive football. That's just two people getting together and saying, let's play it, but keep score.
Kind of.
You think they'd be good at it if they invented
it? Well, William McGregor, a Scottish draper, devised an ingenious new means of testing the best football teams in 1888. Each club would play each other twice, home and away, during 1 year. Thus was born the Football League, the game's first real test of a competition and the forerunner of today's multi-million-pound premiership, at a meeting at the Royal Hotel in Manchester, 17th of April, 1888. And there's a plaque on the wall. I've seen it.
Well, fuck
First episode of Home and Away.
Home and Away.
And he was Scottish, so he wasn't from Manchester, is that right?
He lived in Manchester.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought I'd better... You'll appreciate this, being probably one of your favourite people. Margaret Thatcher, first female British Prime Minister, was part of a team that was improving soft-serve ice creams. So Mr. Softy's a US ice cream distributor, and they'd partnered with J. Lyons & Co., where Margaret Thatcher was working, and they were trying to develop a recipe that they could use in their machines that was obviously the right consistency to obviously not completely melt instantly, but also be, hard enough or not hard enough to clog up their machines.
Right. Could you use them in an Alaskan pipeline?
Do what now?
Nothing.
So there you go. Thatcher's Britain.
Yes.
Wasn't
Thatcher's bloody Britain.
Yeah. Wasn't Mr. Softy ice cream invented because it was damn sight cheaper than using proper cream? So they used substitutes like vegetable oil and put lots of air in it to expand it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I could believe that of Thatcher. She hated dairy. She took all the milk away from the kids, so I can believe her trying to ruin ice cream as well.
Oh, baby milk snatcher. There's reference there someone might get.
Thatcher, milk snatcher.
All right, those who could not afford chimney...
got surgery when you mentioned the name, though.
I thought that.
Yeah.
Those who could not afford chimney cleaning services dropped a goose with its legs tied down the chimney, it gave birth to the phrase, the blacker the goose, the cleaner the flue.
I use that expression every single day.
Did you know where it came from?
No, I've never heard it in my fucking life. What are you talking about? Are you drunk?
I don't know. It might just be, it might be like what you say when you tip your hat to fellow Brits in the morning.
I wore a hat today for the first time in years.
Blacker the goose and that.
Blacker the goose, the cleaner the flue. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yep.
So when the goose would flap its wings, it cleans the chimney as it goes down.
Hang on, did you say flue?
Yeah.
Because I always wondered something about a Derek and Clive song or a Derek and Clive sketch where one of them goes, shove it up your flue. And I always wondered what the flue was other than, So, yeah.
So you haven't heard that the pipe, the going up from a fireplace is called a flue?
No. We just burn peasants in the garden.
That's probably the weirdest thing we've had so far.
Right.
You've not come across that.
No.
Yeah, I used to call it a chimney, but anyway.
No, the chimney's the bit on the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's she going to look like with a chimney on her?
That's a chimney pot. So I'm thinking the chimney is the exterior and the flue's the interior of the
That's what I think, yes.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Actually house, maybe, yeah.
Same as vagina and vulva, really. It's that same concept.
Sounds nice to me.
I don't know. I've got a few more. Should I save them for another time, or do you want to? What would you rather?
Well, I was going to mention something, but it's not of the calibre.
Please do.
Well, no, mine was just more of a weird thing that I've encountered, rather than something actually interesting like what you've rung up.
I'd like to hear it.
Okay, but
you say that now.
I was listening to someone's. They shall remain nameless. It doesn't matter who they were, but they're a young person. They were below 80. No, I was listening to some music that someone else was playing, and I said, "Who's that? I quite like that. Who's that? Oh, I don't know. Some Spotify playlist." I was like, "This is your playlist, but you don't know who the band." Because back in the day, like when you'd make your C90 cassette compilations, they were made with love and care and hoping to get your leg over. Whereas now it's just like Spotify, genre, randomised, go. And you're just spunked this stream of music that artists barely get fucking paid for. And people just inject it into their fucking ears without knowing who it is or anything about the bands. It's just no effort. Or it annoys me, probably more because I'm old and boring now. And not with it.
I'm with you. Like you used to care so much about your curated music because
curated, I like that word.
You only had 45 minutes on each side of the tape. So and you would kind of try and work out your song durations to be hit exactly the moment when the tape would run out, because nothing worse than getting halfway through a song and then.
Sorry, does that go again? Right. Okay.
You'd also do like you'd like have a slow one here, then a fast, then a slow, then a fast.
Oh, you're talking about the sex compilation.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
I just used to bung on a Portishead CD.
I used Phantom of the Opera by Iron Maiden for the first 30 seconds.
Not Ride with the Ancient Mariner.
13 and a half minutes. Are you dreaming?
I'm not doing it 3 times for anyone.
You're right, though. There's a fair percentage of songs on my Spotify playlist that I've probably I've heard once because I've tried one of their suggested playlists, hit the like, so it's added, and then I've been baffled when I've heard it.
And gone,
a couple of months later.
The shitting crikey is this?
Yes.
You see?
I think with me...
Yeah, but it's different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like before you have to craft your own, but now it's just like you put it on random and like you might hear something different that you would never have heard. Oh, yeah, that's all right. I like that. And you'll like it, and then you can come back to it later. So it's more like a radio station.
People don't know. They just keep fucking hoovering up lines of unknown music.
Well, I don't think it's you're not choosing. So if you're not paying for Spotify or Amazon Music, you choose a song or an artist, and it'll say we're playing this in a random order, shuffle order, and we're also going to do other artists like it. If you want to listen to this specific album in this specific order, you have to pay for it. And I think that's what part of the problem is people just saying,
filthy lucre.
It is, isn't it? I used to have thousands and thousands of albums and songs because I used to get them hooky on discs and spend a whole Sunday just doing my folders on my iTunes, getting all the songs, the titles, and they had to be correct. They had to be, wouldn't come at the start, it'd go at the end because it bugged me. And
oh, fuck off.
No, seriously. Because it'd go A to S, it would be like a few hundred songs each one, and then T would be like 8,000 because every song started with and then
you would hate my musical filing system so much.
We know your filing system. It's just throw it on a computer, and if it's destined to be, it'll come out one day.
Well, there you go. It's very Factory Records approach. It's not there when you want it, but it will be there when you need it. Right, kids?
Exactly.
What's the worst podcast in the world?
The worst one in the world?
Probably this one. I don't know.
So far.
Oh, nice one, guys. That was all right.
Yeah. So is it, can we do another one in a few weeks or a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
I'd bloody love to, mate. I really would love to. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, nice one. Nice one, guys.
Lovely to speak to you all. And let's
Indeed
do
it was. It must have
Nice
been.
one, man.
Sussy, bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye now.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Well, thank you to the Strange Times crew there. We'll have them back a bit later in the season. If you like this podcast, you might like some other podcasts that I'm involved in. There's Dad Pants, which was a podcast when a friend of the Bit Weird podcast, Monty, first had a child, so he was getting advice from myself and some other dads. Dad Pants on your pod player if you're interested in hearing some of that. There's What's the Go? It's a bit of a strange sport podcast, if you can believe it or not. Keep your eye out as well. I have periodically done a podcast called What's Fucked Today, where I give you the news of the day in about 90 seconds. That was a daily podcast, so it's kind of happened in fits and starts. But look, I do have some hope of making it a regular daily podcast at some point. You just never know, really. You do just never know. But let's get back on track talking about Bit Weird here. I'd love you to follow the socials. Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Not that I know what's going on with Twitter, really. I don't know. It seems like screaming into the void a bit there sometimes these days. But if you follow the socials, I post stuff there that A, is weird. So, on brand. Good work. But B, in the week that the episodes drop, I will post related materials so you can see what we're talking about and read further if you would like. Because I don't have a website, otherwise I would just direct you there. I don't have a website because I don't have time to fucking deal with one. Ooh, speaking of socials, a little while ago I put a call out to see if anyone would send me in, DM me a weird fact or story that they know. Let's have a look. Has anyone done that?
You have no messages. No one wants to talk to you. You are a loser with a fat, smelly bum.
Right. I guess no one out there knows a weird fact or story of any kind. That in itself is weird. Alright, well I'll check back, I guess, a bit later in this season. Thanks for listening, and if you know someone who likes weird stuff, tell them about the show. That would be doing me a real solid. This is an Angry Chimp podcast. know what I always say? Be free and easy with the millet.